Attention Central Georgia, it's that time again for the publication of the new 2015-16 Macon Middle Georgia Black Page. So you want to be a part of it because the theme is Make More Dream in 2015. Call today, 478-464-0074 and find out how we can help you make more dream in 2015. Sometimes because of how fortunate we are, we overlook, some of the important elements or necessities of life, particularly when we have them. And the last time I checked, they said those elements are food, water, and shelter. And in this instance, we're going to use housing. So anytime there's an entity in the community that deals with housing and deals with housing assistance or deals with educating people about housing or deals with providing services to housing, I don't think that should be taken lightly. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Howard Sherman. We're going to talk about a housing authority today, Warner Robins and Houston County Housing Authority. And I think too often we overlook the impact and the importance of entities such as the housing authorities, not only Warner Robins, but throughout the country. And if you were to imagine, what plight many families and children and citizens and senior citizens would be left in without the services of the housing authority, then I think that would make us more conscientious. So every chance I get, I try to emphasize and expose the importance of housing and to emphasize and expose the role that public housing is playing, and now it's becoming public-private, so it's progressing.
Yes, it is.
Tremendously. And I'm so happy today to have an individual from one of those authorities in the person of Miss Sharonrogers, who is from the Warner Robins Houston County Housing Authority. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm outstanding. Thanks for joining the show.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're very humble. You just said it.
I'm very.
Let us know who we're dealing with.
Okay, I'm Sharonrogers. I'm Resident Services Program Coordinator for the Warner Robins Housing Authority. I've been employed there 18 years. I've seen a lot go on, the ups and downs of the Housing Authority, but mainly we provide safe, decent, affordable housing for our tenants.
Right.
And we deal with a lot of emergency housing situations. And of course, as you stated, we do deal with the plight of homelessness. And it's amazing that people don't realize that there's so many people out there that are homeless. But without the housing authority, as you stated, it will be a lot more. Because they can't afford some of the income levels are very low.
Right.
And they can't afford it.
Right. And see, that's something we take, that's one thing as it relates to my purpose in life. One of the things that I would like to do is to educate and inform people about how everybody can help and how sometimes, although we may be doing okay, but I think as Americans, as citizens, as spiritual people,
correct,
then we have an obligation to at least be concerned about our fellow man. For example, my pastor is Eddie D. Smith, and he's preaching this year on, quote, unquote, don't be so mean in 2015, and I think that that's very, very important.
Yes.
And I understand that in a sense there are many individuals, agencies, and organizations in Warner Robins and in that community, Houston County, that are not being so mean in 2015 because they are joining the initiative and they are partnering with the Housing Authority to foster programs.
Correct.
In that community for these individuals who sorely need it. Yes. Talk about those programs.
Well, we have what we opened as of last year, a resident service and program building that specializes in housing programs for our tenants. We provide a life skill program that's set up to get them ready, job placement to help them become employed. We started a basic construction apprenticeship program, and what the initiative behind that, we will be demolishing Acalltoaction homes. So of course you got the contractors and other entities coming in that are going to be employing those other people. So we want to have our tenants certified in construction so that they can get some of that money in some of those jobs.
Now that's very important. I'm glad you said that. Because I think one of the problems that's facing our community, one of the problems that's facing people when they are homeless and need housing is because they don't have resources or don't have any way to get income. So I want to applaud you. And the other thing that's very important is that even after that facility is torn down, then they have a skill that they can take to other places. What about any other programs?
Well, we do have we have our resident association, which they work a lot with our seniors. We work a lot with healthcare agencies, and those healthcare agencies come in. Of course, the Affordable Health Care Act, trying to make sure that they are insured, provide healthcare services, house cleaning, housekeeping for our tenants. So we do that. We give our seniors also, we want to reward them because they paid their dues. I feel that our seniors, they believe they come to a point in life that they need something given back to them. So we do a senior extravaganza program every year, and a dinner and dance. We serve them, we wait on them, and we play the music for them that in their era.
Well, what's that number? I got a few years.
We play that music and they truly enjoy themselves dancing, and it's a sight to see. So I love doing what I do in public housing.
Now, I heard you mention homelessness. You said that surprise. See, I don't know. You know, there are a lot of circumstances. Don't be so mean in 2015. And what I mean by that is sometimes somebody may be homeless because of certain situations or misfortunes or losing a job, of having an accident or what have you. Talk about the kind of homelessness resources that you have.
Well, we have an emergency housing list. We have regular public housing waiting lists, of course, but we run into, throughout the year, people constantly calling because either they lost a job or they had an incident, or a fire, or just become unemployed, don't have the income to upkeep the place that they already have. So they need somewhere that's going to substantiate their income level, because we do go by income. And those are just a few of the things that we run into. And we're getting calls constantly, every day. People coming, we need somewhere to stay. Where do we go? There's very little shelter, facilities in Warner Robins to house anybody who don't have anywhere to stay. So that's why the importance of us rebuilding over at the Acalltoaction community is very important. We're looking at building at least over 100, and we're tearing down 70 units, but putting back up at least over 100 units. So that's
now is there room for homeless people? I mean, talk about the population. I mean, and the availability of public housing, particularly in your area.
Well, we have a huge homeless population. Of course, some people may say that we don't, but we do, because we deal with low-income families every day that comes in through our facility, want to apply. If our waiting list is closed, we can't take those applications. But again, back to emergency situations, we can take that. But without the public housing, if we don't have that available to them, then we don't.
Everybody on the street.
They're on the street, and it's a sad situation. You want to help everyone, and one thing about your statement, don't be so mean in 2015, as you stated. You've always got to have compassion in your heart for everyone. So we never know whether we're going to have a place to stay. Some people are one paycheck away from not having somewhere to stay. So if you close your heart to the people that are less fortunate than you are, then you're really a cold person. So you have to have your heart open.
And we never know. We never know. When we may find ourselves in those kind of situations or circumstances that we may need some help. We're gonna come back. We're gonna take a little break, and we're gonna talk a little bit more and let you name some of those agencies and their functions, and determine if there's a way the community can help. This is a call to action.
A call.
Having a very, very informative and interesting conversation with Miss Sharonrogers, who is the resident coordinator for the Warner Robins Houston County Housing Authority, and we're having really a lively discussion on shelter, which is important, and resources and services and participation and programs. And we're going to talk just another minute about this construction program that you're running, because I understand that one can get certified and get some training in construction because you're tearing down a facility. So talk a little bit more about that and let us know if somebody's out there who's interested in that certification, can they apply?
They can come by my office at 400 Green Street in Warner Robins. We are taking applications on it up until probably next Thursday. This is a 13-week course, and you can become certified in plumbing, electrical, carpentry, drywall. And also, once you're certified, if you're not a non-resident, you have to pay for your certification, which is only $75. But you can take that to any job because it's through the Home Builders Institute. And we had certified our maintenance team. They do hands-on training for our tenants also. We bring in speakers and people from the Home Builders Association. They come in and talk to them about training, take them to construction sites, and also give them hands-on. We actually have the tools. They have their own tools to work with. So everything has been put in place for them to succeed in this.
Well, you mentioned the Home Builders Association as it relates to the training. What about some of the other agencies and organizations that you all collaborate and partner with in the area?
Really, we collaborate with just about everyone in Warner Robins, and I am so proud to say that. I'll say maybe 2 years ago through the Georgia Association of Housing and Urban Development, we actually received the Collaborative Partnership Award because we had partnered with so many agencies. That's the Houston County Health Department. You have Habitat for Humanity. You have, I think, Houston County School Systems, in which we do our annual Back to School Bash. Of course, we advertise that. That's like 2,000 book bags given away yearly. It's quite a few agencies. I can barely name. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, anybody would understand because it's not about the credit. No. It's about the service.
Yes, so, and they are very...
The important thing is that you could just look in that camera and tell them all, thank you.
Thank you all for just working with us and just coming on, just doing it out of the kindness of your heart because it's about partnership. Yeah.
Well, there's an old saying, I guess I don't know whether it's bought all or what it is, but it says, I'm back. And, I guess that's the best expression to start this interview. Not that I'm back, although I am, but because he's back, and that he or that him is in the person of Mr. Samhart, who's a long-time servant, public servant, educational servant, in our community, and everybody knows him, and he's done such a phenomenal job and was recently elected as chairman of the Macon-Bibb County Water Authority, which is, it's kind of a well-kept secret as it relates to the role that the Water Authority plays in our community. So since we got a new chairman, we, of course, want to give him an opportunity to talk about his initiative and maybe some of the objectives and the purposes and the function of the Water Authority. But we also want to give him an opportunity, want to give us an opportunity to congratulate him on his election and expressed that confidence that he would do a phenomenal job, and we're just glad to have you. How you doing, man?
Doing well, and thank you for that. And let me also say thank you to the public for giving me this honor again to serve in this position. I look forward to serving in this position and sort of keeping it going. This is one of the things in our community that is broken.
Yep.
And so it doesn't need fixing. It simply needs to be maintained in the same quality and with the same efficiency that it currently is being operated in. And I certainly intend to do that. So look forward to it, and I appreciate the opportunity to be a servant again.
Yes, sir. Talk about the Water Authority and, what it does, its mission and its function. Sometimes, we just turn the faucet and the water comes on, and unless we don't pay the bill, and we're pretty happy. But talk about, the economic and human and developmental role that the authority plays in our community.
Well, it's one of the agencies that have been extremely efficient in this community, and its responsibility is just what you said: is to keep the water running, make sure again that you got adequate water supply, both at your home, for your business, and for safety reasons. But in addition to that, it has a responsibility too for taking care of the sewage. And I tell you what, nothing is more important than that in terms of health and whatever. But the one thing that we often overlook and don't think about that the Water Authority has played a tremendous role is in economic development. If you look at, companies that are looking to relocate to our area, one of the first agencies that they contact is the Water Authority. Whether or not they plan to use it, and all of them will use it to some extent, but whether it's the major resources they need to do the production, or whether it's just for safety reasons, they want to make sure again that they got adequate water supply, and so that we're one of the first persons that they contact, and so to have the reputation that this Water Authority has is extremely important in terms of encouraging and enticing people to consider come to our area. But in addition to that, because it's been run and operated so efficiently, we've had financial resources that we've been able to put toward economic development. And if you look at the last company that we brought here, Quality Supply, I'm getting, but Tractor Supply is what I'm really looking for. The Water Authority helped us create that industrial site and was able to again offer that as an incentive for the business to come to our area. So in addition to making sure we got great water, and we do, if you remember, Macon has the best tasting water in North America, and I think that's important.
Wow.
But in addition to that, we have a tremendous amount that we got a reservoir. Yep. We were sort of ahead of everybody else. And the one thing that we were even ahead of as it relates to the reservoir, we were ahead of even the flood. Now, the flood helped us to get the water plant.
Right.
And we relocated it, but we relocated it near the reservoir. And so this community has been forward-thinking, and a lot of that is attributed to Frank Amos.
I was going to say,
you can't
have this interview without mentioning Frank.
You got to mention that here's a guy who, again, was light years ahead of a lot of us in terms of our thinking relative to water and resources and amount in terms of getting the site with the Javis Lucas Lake that provides a tremendous reservoir for us if something were to happen, but also the water plant itself. So this guy was light years ahead of us in terms of that thinking, in terms of looking forward, in terms of what we ought to be as a community relative to our water resources.
Somebody mentioned, I think it was Josh Rogers, that there is an opportunity for visitation, either to the plant or the lake, that is something there that citizens may be interested in just going to view. trail. I know they have. Talk about
at the old
the lake and at the old. When they are remodeling or something of that.
Right, you're exactly right. That part of and recently, Dr. Gotts, as you know, who was as I said to people that usually when you lose a great person, it's tough filling in the shoes of that person in an interim way. But Dr. Gotts did it wonderfully well. And so he came, but he just gave his money to about $17,000 toward that site. It's the old waterworks plant. And what they've done is they've made that into a recreational site.
Wow.
Beautiful site. And they've done it in conjunction with Newtown Macon. Newtown Macon provides the leadership, but it is a wonderful place to visit. And I think they've gotten a relationship with the school system where they're bringing people out for educational purposes. And they do a similar kind of thing at the Jarvis Lake area where they invite people to come fish and do whatever. And at our last meeting, we were given, the Water Authority received an award for community service.
Wow.
So it, in addition to just providing the natural resource water, they are also very, very much into the community in terms of giving educational opportunities to schools and to do other kinds of things that help to keep this community moving forward. That's
outstanding. And I understand that we're in excellent shape as it relates to water supply. I understand that a lot of communities really envy, our area for having all of this water, which I'm sure plays a significant role in enhancing their ability to attract industries.
The fight that they're having all over this state and
they still fight. Atlanta is something. They're still fighting.
Yeah. We don't have that. We're in a position to provide water for this community. But as you know, we already are thinking regionally. That's what I was talking about. This community has been, as it relates to the Water Authority, has been way ahead in its thinking about regionalization, that kind of thing. But they, as you know, provide water to Jones County, to Monroe County, to Byron. So they already got relationships where they're providing those waters, and yet at no expense, no damage to our water resources. We got still other waters to deal with. And I think that's another opportunity to look forward to how we can jointly do and move forward for economic development for this region.
Right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back and talk about maybe some of your other goals or mission and ascertain if there's any way that the community can assist in making sure that we have the top tasting water in the nation. This is a call to action. Interviewing Chairman Samhart of the Macon-Bibb County Water Authority. We'll be right back. Attention, Central Georgia. It's that time again for the publication of the new 2015-16 Macon Middle Georgia Black Page. So you want to be a part of it because the theme is Make More Green in 2015. Call today, 478-464-0074, and find out how we can help you make more green in 2015. We're back. This is Alex Habersham, host of Acalltoaction, interviewing Chairman Samhart of the Macon-Bibb County Water Authority. We've had the fortunate leadership of two dynamic predecessors to Mr. Hart in the persons of Mr. Frank Amerson, and we both acknowledge that he played a major role. And then Dr. Gotts Kirby came along and kept it going, and it's moving in the right direction. And it's my understanding, according to Chairman Hart, that, it ain't broke, so he's not going to try to fix it, but, just try to keep it flowing. And if there are any new initiative that may come forward, he, of course, will do that. So tell us a little bit about any mission or goal. You've already said, but is there anything else that you would like to see or that you would like to do?
Well, we're fortunate in another way, too. We got a young man, Tony Rojas, who is the executive director for the Water Authority, who is extremely knowledgeable, but also is a hard worker. A guy who always is looking to better himself and to create more knowledge as it relates to his job and working with people. So we got a wonderful staff. I think a wonderful board too. I was fortunate to come in on a board that was seasoned and one or two new people on it, but we're working so far very, very well together. What I'd like to see us do is continue to look for ways to bring in new industry, who are water users, and mainly because I'd like to see that happen because it'll enable us to continue to keep good rates. We want to have good water, but we want to continue to have good rates. We talk about the fact that we are the best water in the North America area. We're also extremely competitive when it comes to rates. So you get good water at a good rate, and we've been able to do that because we've been actively involved in the industrial development of this community. And we intend to continue that because we're able then to pass on whatever savings we can back to the citizens of this community at no negative expense to the quality of the water. And so what I'd like to see us do is to continue to stay actively involved in economic development, to work very closely with Industrial Authority, Clifton Whitman Industrial Authority, working with the mayor, who has been extremely important. As a matter of fact, I serve on the Industrial Authority at in one of the positions of the city. So I think that I want to continue to collaborate with the city, with the county, with the Industrial Authority to make that work well, industrial development happen. But I also want to continue to make sure that we continue to be the envy of this nation as it relates to water. And in addition to that, some of the beneficiaries of what we do ought to be back to the people.
Absolutely.
And so we want to make sure that recreation-wise, with the Frank Amerson Water Park, that we make people aware of that, and it's coming.
Okay.
And as soon as we get that, in conjunction with Newtown, we'll let you know.
All right. Well, tell people the website and how they can get in touch with I know that it's on Make 'em Bill TV.
It's right. We want to make sure you sort of know what we're doing. We invite you to our meetings on first Thursday of every month. But we're also on Channel 14. As a matter of fact, I think we come on just before the Habersham show. So it's a taste of
well, here's the
good water. And
here's the commission. We are now drinking the best tasting water in the country. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
And a drink of water.
www.makingblackpages.com